Shalom, everyone. I just wanted to do another section from the book of Jasher. This video is going to be from Jasher chapter 82 to Jasher chapter 88. So this reading is going to be about the Israelites or Yasharites' journey in the wilderness after they escaped slavery from Egypt. Obviously, the last video I did, which, because it's a continuation from the book of Jasher, the last video I did was the Israelites delivered from slavery in Egypt. So, it's continuation, of course. So, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you all enjoyed this reading. Chapter 82 from the book of Jasher. And the children of Yasharal continued from Rephidim, and they camped in the wilderness of Sinai in the third month of their going out from Egypt. At that time, Reuel the Midianite, the father-in-law of Moses, came with Zipporah his daughter and two of her sons. And he had heard the wonders for Yahuwah of what he done to Yasharal, and that he delivered them from the hands of Egypt. Reuel came to Moses in the wilderness, and he was encamped where the mountain of Yahuwah was. Moses went out to meet his father-in-law with great honor, and all Yasharal was with him. Reuel and his children remained among the Yasharites for many days, for Reuel knew Yahuwah from then onward. Then on the third month from the children of Yasharal's departure from Egypt, on the 6th day thereof, Yahuwah gave Yasharal the 10 words on Mount Sinai, or the 10 commandments. And all Yasharal heard all these commands, and all Yasharal rejoiced exceedingly in Yahuwah on that day. And the esteem of Yahuwah rested on Mount Sinai, and he called to Moses, and Moses came in the midst of a cloud and went up the mountain. And Moses was upon the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. He ate no bread and drank no water. And Yahuwah instructed him in laws and right rulings in order to teach the children of Yasharal. And Yahuwah wrote the 10 words which he commanded the children of Yasharal upon 2 tablets of stone, in which he gave to Moses to command the children of Yasharal. At the end of 40 days and 40 nights, when Yahuwah had finished speaking to Moses on Mount Sinai, then Yahuwah gave to Moses the tablets of stones written with the finger of Yahuwah. And when the children of Yasharal saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said, As for this man Moses, we do not know what has become of him. Now therefore rise up and make for us a mighty one, who shall go before us, so that you shall not die. And Aaron was greatly afraid of the people, and he ordered them to bring him gold, and he made it to a molded calf for the people. And Yahuwah said to Moses before he came down from the mountain, Get down, for your people whom you brought out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have made themselves a molded calf and have bowed down to it. Now therefore leave me, that I may consume them from off the earth, for they are a stiff-necked people. And Moses sought the face of Yahuwah, and he prayed to Yahuwah for the people for the sake of the calf which they had made. And afterwards he went down from the mountain, and in his hands were 2 tablets of stones, which Yahuwah had given him to the command of the Yasharites. And when Moses approached the camp, he saw the calf which the people had made, and the wrath of Moses was kindled, and he broke the tablets at the foot of the mountain. And Moses came to the camp, and he took the calf and burnt it with fire and the ground until it became fine dust, and scattered it upon the water, and gave it to the Yasharites to drink. And there died of the people by the sword of each other, and 3,000 men who made the calf. And on the next day Moses said to the people, I will go up to Yahuwah, that I might make atonement for your sins, which you have sinned against Yahuwah. And Moses went up to Yahuwah, and he remained with Yahuwah 40 days and 40 nights. And during the 40 days Moses entreated Yahuwah on the behalf of the children of Yasharal, and Yahuwah listened to the prayer of Moses, and Yahuwah was entreated by him on behalf of Yasharal. Then Yahuwah spoke to Moses to hew 2 stone tablets to bring them up to Yahuwah, who would write on them the 10 words. Now Moses did so, and he came down and hewed the 2 tablets and went up to Mount Sinai to Yahuwah, and Yahuwah wrote the 10 words on the tablets. And Moses remained with Yahuwah 40 days and 40 nights, and Yahuwah instructed him in laws and right rulings to give to Yasharal. And Yahuwah commanded him regarding the children of Yasharal that he should make a temple for Yahuwah, and his name might rest therein. And Yahuwah showed him the likeness of the temple and the likeness of all its utensils. At the end of the 40 days, Moses came down from the mountain, and the 2 tablets were in his hand. And Moses came to the children of Yasharal and spoke to them in all the words of Yahuwah, and he taught them Torah, laws, and right rulings, which Yahuwah had taught him. And Moses told the children of Yasharal the word of Yahuwah that a temple should be made for him to dwell among the children of Yasharal. And the people rejoiced greatly at all the good which Yahuwah had spoken to them through Moses, as they said, "We will do all that Yahuwah has spoken to you." And the people rose up as one man, and they made generous offerings for the temple of Yahuwah. Each man brought the offering of Yahuwah for the work of the set apart place for all its service. And each man and all the children of Yasharal brought forth all that was found in his possession for the work of its set apart place of Yahuwah, gold, silver, and brass, and every matter that was of service for the set apart place. And all the wise men who are skilled in work came and made the temple of Yahuwah according to all that Yahuwah had commanded, every man in the work of which he was skilled. And all the wise-hearted men made the temple and all its furnishings and its utensils for the set-apart service, as Yahuwah had commanded Moses. And the work of the set-apart place of the temple was completed at the end of 5 months, and the children of Yasharal did all that Yahuwah had commanded Moses. And they brought the temple and all its furnished to Moses according to the likeness which Yahuwah had shown to Moses. So children of Yasharal did. And Moses saw the work, and see, they did it as Yahuwah had commanded him. And so Moses favored them. Chapter 83. And in the 12th month, in the 23rd day of the month, Moses took Aaron and his sons, and he dressed them in their garments, and anointed them, and did to them as Yahuwah had commanded him. And Moses brought all the offerings which Yahuwah had commanded him on that day. And after this, Moses took Aaron and his sons, and said to them, "For 7 days you shall remain at the door of this temple, for so am I commanded." And Aaron and his sons did all Yahuwah had commanded them through Moses, and they remained days at the door of the temple. And in the 8th day, being the first day of the first month, in the 2nd year of the Israelites' departure from Egypt, Moses erected the temple, and Moses put up all the furnishings of the temple and all the furnishings of the set apart place, and he did all that Yahuwah had commanded him. And Moses called to Aaron and his sons, and they brought the burnt offering and the sin offering for themselves of the children of Yasharal, as Yahuwah had commanded Moses. On that day, the 2 sons of Aaron, Nahab and Abihu, took strange fire and brought it before Yahuwah, who had not commanded them, and a fire went out from before Yahuwah and consumed them, and they died before Yahuwah on that day. And then on the day when Moses has completed putting up the temple, the leaders of the children of Yasharal bring their offerings before Yahuwah for the dedication of the altar. And they brought their offerings, each leader one day, the leader each day for 12 days. And all the offerings which they brought, each man in his day, 1 silver dish weighing 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the set apart place, and both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, 1 ladle weighing 10 shekels of gold, full of incense. one young bull, one ram, and one lamb a year old as a burnt offering, and male goats as a sin offering. And at the peace offering, 2 cattle, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs a year old. Thus did the 12 princes of Yasharal day by day, each man in his day. And it came to be after this, in the 13th day of the month, that Moses commanded the children of Yasharal to observe the Passover. And the children of Yasharal kept the Passover in its season, in the 14th day of the month, as Yahuwah had commanded Moses. So the children of Yasharal did. And in the second month, on the first day, Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, Number the heads of all the males of the children of Yasharal, from 20 years old and upward, you and your brother Aaron, and the 12 leaders of Yasharal. And Moses did so, and Aaron came and the 12 leaders of Yasharal, and they numbered the children of Yasharal in the wilderness of Sinai. And the numbers of the children of Yasharal by their fathers' houses from 20 years old and above were 603,550. And the children of Levi were not numbered among their brothers, the children of Yasharal, and they numbered all the males of the children of Yasharal from 1 month old and upward was 22,273. And the number of the children of Levi from 1 month old and above was 22,000. And Moses appointed the priests and the Levites, and each man according to his service, to his burden, to serve the set apart place of the temple, as Yahuwah had commanded Moses. And on the 20th day of the month, the cloud was taken away from the temple of witness. And at that time, the children of Yasharal continued their journey from the wilderness of Sinai. They took a journey of 3 days, and the cloud rested upon the wilderness of Paran. There the wrath of Yahuwah was kindled against Yasharal, for they had provoked Yahuwah in asking him for meat that they might eat. And Yahuwah listened to their voice and gave them meat that they ate for 1 month. But after this, the wrath of Yahuwah was kindled against them, and he smote them with a great slaughter. And they were buried there in that place. And the children of Yasharal called the place Kaberth Hata'awal, because they buried the people that lusted flesh. And they departed Kibroth Hatatawal and pitched in Hatzoroth, which is in the wilderness of Paran. While the children of Yasharal were in Hatzoroth, the wrath of Yahuwah was kindled against Miriam for the sake of Moses, and she became leprous, white as snow. And she was confined outside the camp for 7 days until she had recovered again after her leprosy. And the children of Yasharal afterwards departed from Hatzoroth and pitched it at the end of the wilderness of Paran. At that time, Yahuwah spoke to Moses to send the 12 men from the children of Yasharal, each man of each tribe, to go and spy out the land of Canaan. And Moses sent 12 men, and they came to the land of Canaan to search and examine it. And they spied out the entire land of the wilderness of Sin to Rehob, as you come to Hamath. At the end of the 40 days, they came to Moses and Aaron, and they brought him word as was in their hearts. And 10 of the men brought an evil report of the land to the children of Yasharal, which they have explored, saying, It is better for us to return to Egypt than to go to this land, and the land consumes its inhabitants. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, who were those that spied out the land, and said, The land is exceedingly good. If Yahuwah delights in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, for it is a land flowing with milk and honey. But the children of Yasharal would not listen to them, and they listened to the words of the 10 men who had brought an evil report of the land. And Yahuwah heard the murmurings of the children of Yasharal, and he was wroth and swore, saying, Indeed, not one man of this wicked generation, from 20 years old and upward, shall see the land, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. But this wicked generation will indeed perish in the wilderness, and their children shall come into the land, and they shall possess it. So the wrath of Yahuwah was kindled against Yasharal, and made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the end of that wicked generation. because they did not follow Yahuwah. And the people dwelt in the wilderness of Paran a long time, and afterwards they proceeded to go to the wilderness by the way of the seed of reeds. Chapter 84. At the time Korah the son of Yetzer, the son of Korath, the son of Levi, took many men of the children of Yasharal, and they rose up and disputed with Moses and Aaron and with the whole congregation. And Yahuwah was wroth with them, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up with their households and all belonging to them, and all the men belonging to Korah. And after this, Yahuwah made the people go around by the way of Mount Seir for a long time. And at that time, Yahuwah said to Moses, do not provoke a battle against the children of Esau, for I will not give to you any matter belonging to them, as much as the sole of the foot could tread upon, for I have given Mount Seir as an inheritance to Esau. And because the children of Esau have fought against the children of Seir in the former times, and Yahuwah had delivered the children of Seir into the hands of the children of Esau, and destroyed them from before them, and the children of Esau dwelled in their place to this day. Therefore Yahuwah said to the children of Yasharal, do not fight against the children of Esau, your brothers, for nothing in their land belongs to you, but you might buy food for them for silver and eat it, that you may buy water from them for silver and drink it. And the children of Yasharal did according to the word of Yahuwah. And the children of Yasharal went about in the wilderness, going about the way of Mount Sinai for a long time, and they did not touch the children of Esau, and they continued in that region for 19 years. At that time, Latinus, the sovereign of the children of the Hittites, died in the 45th year of his reign, which is the 14th year of the children of Yasharal's departure from Egypt. And they buried him in his place, which he had built for himself in the land of the Hittites. And Abinaz reigned in the place for 38 years. And the children of Yasharal passed by the boundary of the children of Esau in those days at the end of the 19 years, and they came to pass by the way of the wilderness of Moab. And the Yahuwah said to Moses, do not besiege Moab, and do not fight against them, for I will give you none of their land. And the children of Yasharal passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab for 19 years, and did not fight against them. In the 36th year of the children of Yasharal's departure from Egypt, Yahuwah smote the heart of Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites, and he waged battle and went out to fight against the children of Moab. And Sihon sent messengers to Boer, the son of Yanias, the son of Bilam, the counselor of the sovereign of Egypt, and to Bilam his son, to curse Moab in order that it might be delivered into the hands of Sihon. And the messengers went and brought Boer, the son of Yanias, and Bilam his son, from Pithor and Aram Naharaim. For so Bahor and Bilam and his son came to the city of Sihon, and they cursed Moab and their sovereign in the presence of Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites. So Sihon went out with his whole army and went to Moab and fought against them, and he subdued them, and Yahuwah delivered them into his hands. And Sihon sued the sovereign of Moab. And Sihon took all the cities of Moab in battle, and he also took Heshbon from them, for Heshbon was one of the cities of Moab. And Sihon took place as princes and its nobles in Heshbon, and Heshbon belonged to Sihon in those days. Therefore the parable was spoken. Beor and Bilam, his son, uttered these words, saying, come to Sion, the city of Sion will be built and established. Woe to you, Moab, you are lost, O people of Chemosh. See, it is written in the book of the Torah of Yahuwah. And when Sihon had conquered Moab, he placed guards in the city which he had taken from Moab, and a considerable number of the children of Moab fell in battle into the hand of Sihon. And he made a great capture of them, sons and daughters, and he slew their sovereign. So Sihon turned back to his own land. So Sihon gave numerous presents of silver and gold to Beor and Bilam his son, and he dismissed them, and they went to Aram Naharaim, to their home and country. And at that time all the children of Yasharal passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab, and returned and surrounded the wilderness of Edom. So the whole congregation came to the wilderness of Sin in the first month in the 14th year of their departure from Egypt, and the children of Yasharal dwelt there in Kadesh in the wilderness of Sin, and Miriam died there, and she was buried there. And at that time Moses sent messengers to Hadad, the sovereign of Edom, saying, Thus says your brother Yasharal, please let me pass through your land. We will not pass through the field or vineyard. We will not drink the water of the well, and we will not walk in the sovereign's way. And Edom said to him, You shall not pass through my country. And Edom went out to meet the children of Yasharal with a mighty people. And the children of Esau refused to let the children of Yasharal pass through their land. So the Yasharites turned back from them and did not fight against them. For before this had Yahuwah commanded the children of Yasharal, saying, Do not fight against the children of Esau. Therefore the Yasharites turned back from them and did not fight against them. So the children of Yasharal departed from Kadesh, and all the people of Mount Hor. And at that time Yahuwah said to Moses, Tell your brother Aaron that he shall die there, for he shall not come to the land which I give unto the children of Yasharal. And Aaron went up at the command of Yahuwah to Mount Hor in the 40th year of the 5th month, in the first day of the month. And Aaron was 123 years old, and he died in Mount Hor. Chapter 85. And the sovereign Arad and the Canaanite who dwelt in Negeb, they heard that the Yasharites had come by the way to Atharim and arranged his armies to fight against the Yasharites. And the children of Yasharal were greatly afraid of him, for he had a great numerous army, and the children of Yasharal resolved to return to Egypt. And the children of Yasharal turned back at a distance of 3 days' journey to Marath Bani Yahukon, for they were greatly afraid because of the sovereign Arad. And the children of Yasharal would not go back to their places, so they remained in Bani Yahukon for 30 days. And when the children of Levi saw that the children of Yasharal would not turn back, they were jealous for the sake of Yahuwah. They rose up and fought against the Yasharites, their brothers, and slew of them a great body, and forced them to turn back to their place in Mount Hor. And when they returned, the sovereign Arad was still arranging his army for battle against the Yasharites. And Yasharites vowed a vow, saying, If you will deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And Yahuwah listened to the voice of Yasharal, and he delivered the Canaanites into their hand. And he utterly destroyed them and their cities, and he called the name of the place Hormah. And the children of Yasharal journeyed from Mount Hor and pitched in Oboth, and journeyed from Oboth and pitched in at Ai Ha-Abarim on the border of Moab. And the children of Yasharal sent to Moab, saying, Let us pass now through your land into your place. But the children of Moab would not allow the children of Yasharal to pass through their land, for the children of Moab were greatly afraid, lest the children of Yasharal should do to them as Sihon the sovereign, the Amorites, had done to them, who had taken their land and had slain many of them. Therefore Moab would not allow the Yasharites to pass through this land, as Yahuwah commanded the children of Yasharal, saying, You do not fight against Moab. So the Yasharites turned back from Moab. And the children of Yasharal journeyed at the border of Moab, and they came to the other side of Arnon, the border of Moab. Between Moab and the Amorites, they camped on the border of Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites, the wilderness of Kedemoth. And the children of Yasharal sent the messengers to Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites, saying, Let us pass through your land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards, and we will go along by the sovereign's highway until we have passed your border. But Sihon would not allow the Yasharites to pass. And Sihon collected all the people, the Amorites, and went out to the wilderness to meet the children of Yasharal, and he will fight against Yasharal in Yahat. And Yahuwah delivered Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites, into the hand of the children of Yasharal. And Yasharal smote all the people of Sihon with the edge of the sword to avenge the cause of Moab. And the children of Yasharal took possession of the land of Sihon from Aram to Yaqubah, to the children of Ammon, and they took all the spoil of the cities. And Yasharal took all the cities, and Yasharal dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites. And all the children of Yasharal resolved to fight against the children of Ammon and to take their land also. And Yahuwah said to the children of Yasharal, do not besiege the children of Ammon, neither stir up battle against them, for I give none of their land to you. And the children of Yasharal listened to the voice of the word of Yahuwah, and did not fight against the children of Ammon. And the children of Yasharal turned and went up the way to Bashan, to the land of Og, the sovereign of Bashan. And Og, the sovereign of Bashan, went out to meet the Yasharites in battle, for he had with him many mighty men and very strong army from the people of the Amorites. And Og, the sovereign of Bashan, a very powerful man, but Naharaon, his son, was extremely powerful, even stronger than he was. And Og said in his heart, see now the whole camp of Yasharal takes up the space of 3 parsa. Now I will smite them at once without sword or spear. And Og went up to Mount Yahatz and took from there one large stone, the length of what was 3 parsa, and he placed it on his head, and resolved to throw it onto the camp of the children of Yasharal, to smite the Yasharites with that stone. And the messenger of Yahuwah came and struck the stone on the head of Og, and the stone fell on the neck of Og, and so Og fell to the earth because of the weight of the stone upon its neck. And at that time Yahuwah said to the children of Yasharal, do not be afraid of him, for I have given him and all his people and all his land into your hand, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon. And Moses went down to him with a small number of the children of Yasharal, and Moses smote Og with the rod of the ankles of his feet and slew him. After this, the children of Yasharal pursued the children of Og and all his people, and they beat and destroyed them till there was no remnant left of them. And Moses afterwards sent some of the children of Yasharal to spy out Yazur, for Yazur was a city of name. And the spies went to Yazur and spied it out, and the spies trusted in Yahuwah, and they fought against the men of Yazur. And these men took Yazur and its villages, and Yahuwah delivered them into their hand, and they drove out the Amorites who had been there. And the children of Yasharal took the land of 2 sovereigns of the Amorites, 60 cities which were on the other side of the Jordan, from the river of Arnon to Mount Hermon. And the children of Yasharal journeyed and came to the plain of Moab, which is on one side of Jordan by Jericho. The children of Moab heard all the evil from the children of Yasharal done to the 2 sovereigns of the Amorites, to Sihon and Og. So all the men of Moab were greatly afraid of the Israelites. And the elders of Moab said, look, 2 sovereigns of the Amorites, Sihon and Og, who are none more powerful than all the sovereigns of the earth, could not stand against the children of Yasharal. How can then we stand before them? Indeed, they sent us a message before now to pass through our land on their way, and we would not allow them, and now they will turn on us with their heavy swords and destroy us. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Yasharal, and they were greatly afraid of them, and they counseled together what was to be done to the children of Yasharal. And the elders of Moab resolved and took one of their men, Balak the son of Zippor the Moabite, and made him a sovereign over them at that time. And Balak was a very wise man. And the elders of Moab rose up and sent the children of Midian to make peace with them. For a great battle and enmity had been in those days between Moab and Midian, from the days of Hadad the son of Bedad, the sovereign of Edom, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, into these days. And the children of Moab sent for the children of Midian, and they made peace with them. And the elders of Midian came to the land of Moab to make peace on the behalf of the children of Midian. And the elders of Moab counseled with the elders of Midian of what to do in order to save their lives from Yasharal. And all the children of Moab said to the elders of Midian, now therefore all the children of Yasharal lick up all that are about us, as the ox licks up the grass of the field. And thus they did to the two sovereigns of the Amorites who are stronger than we are. And the elders of Midian said to Moab, we have heard at that time when Sihon, the sovereign of the Amorites, fought against you, and he prevailed over you and took your land. He did send to Boer, the son of Yanus, to Bilam, his son from Aram Naharaim, and they came and cursed you. It is why the hand of Sihon prevailed over you, so that he took your land. Now therefore you send also to Bilam his son, for he still remains in this land, and give him his payment, that he may come and curse all the people whom you are afraid. So the elders of Moab heard this word, and it pleased them to send Bilam the son of Beor. And Balak the son of Sephor, the sovereign of Moab, sent messengers to Bilam, saying, look, there is a people come out from Egypt. See, they cover the face of the earth, and they are settling next to me. Now therefore come and curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Maybe I shall prevail to fight against them and drive them out, for I heard that he who is favored, and he whom is cursed. So the messengers of Balak went to Bilam and brought Bilam to curse the people to fight against Moab. And Bilam came to Balak to curse Yasharal, and Yahuwah said to Bilam, do not curse this people, for it is blessed. Balak urged Bilam day by day to curse Yasharal, but Bilam did not listen to Balak because of the word of Yahuwah which he had spoken to Bilam. For when Balak saw that Bilam would not do according to his desire, he rose up and went home. And Bilam also returned to his land, and he went from there to Midian. And the children of Yasharal journeyed from this plain of Moab and camped by the Jordan from Beith Yeshemoth and even to Abel Hasatem at the end of the plains of Moab. And when the children of Yasharal dwelt in the plain of Shittim, they began to commit whoring with the daughters of Moab. And the children of Yasharal approached Moab, and the children of Moab pitched their tents opposite the camp of the children of Yasharal. But the children of Moab were afraid of the children of Yasharal, and the children of Moab took all their daughters and their wives of good looks and lovely appearance, and dressed them in gold and silver and costly garments. And the children of Moab seated these women at the door of their tents, in order that the children of Yasharal might see them and turn to them and not fight against Moab. And all the children of Moab did this matter to the children of Yasharal. Every man placed his wife and daughter at the door of his tent. And all the children of Yasharal saw the act of the children of Moab, and the children of Yasharal turned to the daughters of Moab and coveted them, and they went to them. And it came to be when a Hebrew came to the door of the tent of Moab, and saw a daughter of Moab, and desired her in his heart, and spoke with her at the door of the tent which that he desired. While they were speaking together, the men of the tent would come out and speak to the Hebrews words such as these. Indeed, you know that we are brothers, and we are all descendants of Lot, and the descendants of Abraham his brother. Why then will you not remain with us, and why then will you not eat our bread and our offering? And when the children of Moab had thus overwhelmed him with their speeches, and enticed him by their flattering words, and seated him in the tent, and cooked and offered for him, he ate of their offering and of their bread. And then they gave him wine, and he drank and became drunk, and they placed before him a good-looking maiden. And he did with her as he pleased, and for he did not know what he was doing, as he had drunk plentifully of wine. Thus the children of Moab did to Yasharal in that place in the plain of Shittim. And the wrath of Yahuwah was kindled against Yasharal because of this matter, and he sent a pestilence among them, and therefore died of the Yasharites 24,000 men. Now there was a man of the children of Shimon, whose name was Simon, whose name was Zimri, the son of Salu, who joined himself to the Midianite Cosbi, the daughter of Sor, is sovereign of Midian in the sight of all the children of Yasharal. And Peninnah, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw this wicked matter which Zimri has done, and he took a spear and rose up and went after them, and pierced them both and slew them, for the pestilence ceased from the children of Yasharal. Chapter 86. At the time after the pestilence, Yahuwah spoke to Moses and to Eleazar the son of Aaron, the priest, saying, Number the heads of the whole community of the children of Yasharal from 20 years old and upward, all that go out to the army. And Moses and Eleazar numbered the children of Yasharal after the clans. The number of all Yasharal was 700,730. And the number of the children of Levi from 1 month old and upward was 23,000. But among these there was not a man of those numbered by Moses and Aaron at the wilderness of Sinai. For Yahuwah had told them that they would die in the wilderness, and so they all died. And not one had been left of them except Caleb the son of Yafuneh and Joshua the son of Nun. And it came to be after this that Yahuwah said to Moses, Say to the children of Yasharal to avenge upon Midian to cause their brothers of their children Yasharal. And Moses did so, and the children of Yasharal chose from among them 12,000 men, being 1,000 to a tribe, and they went to Midian. And the children of Yasharal fought against Midian, and they slew every male. About 5 princes of Midian, and to Bilam the son of Boer they slew with the sword. And the children of Yasharal took the wives of Midian captive with their little ones and their cattle and all belonging to them. And they took all the spoil and all the booty and brought it to Moses and to Eleazar to the plains of Moab. And Moses and Eleazar and all the princes of the congregation went out to meet them with joy. And they divided all the spoil of Midian, and all the children of Yasharal had been avenged upon Midian to cause their brothers and the children of Yasharal. Chapter 87. At that time Yahuwah said to Moses, See, your days are approaching to an end. Take now Joshua the son of Nun, your servant, and place him in the temple, and I will command him. And Moses did so. And Yahuwah commanded Joshua the son of Nun and said to him, Be strong and courageous, for you shall bring the children of Yasharal to the land which I swore to give them, and I will be with you. And Moses said to Joshua, Be strong and courageous, for you will make the children of Yasharal inherit the land, and Yahuwah be with you, and he will not leave you nor forsake you, and be not afraid or disheartened. And Moses called to all the children of Yasharal and said to them, You have seen all the good which Yahuwah has done for you in the wilderness. Now therefore observe all the words of this Torah, walk in the way of Yahuwah, and do not turn from the way which Yahuwah had commanded you, either to the right or to the left. And Moses taught the children of Yasharal laws and right rulings and Torah to do in the land as Yahuwah had commanded them. And Yahuwah taught them the way of Yahuwah in his Torah. See, they are written upon the book of the Torah of Yahuwah, which he gave to the children of Yasharal by the hand of Moses. And Moses finished commanding the children of Yasharal, and Yahuwah spoke to them, saying, Go up to Mount Abarim and die there, and be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother was gathered. And Moses went up as Yahuwah had commanded him, and he died there in the land of Moab by the command of Yahuwah in the 40th year from the Israelites going out from the land of Egypt. And the children of Yasharal wept for Moses in the plains of Moab for 30 days. The days of weeping and mourning for Moses were completed. Chapter 88. And it came to be after the death of Moses that Yahuwah spoke to Joshua the son of Nun, saying, Rise up and pass over the Jordan to the land which I give unto the children of Yasharal, that you shall make the children of Yasharal inherit the land. Every place in which the sole of your feet shall tread on belongs to you, and the wilderness of Lebanon to the great river, the river of Parath, shall be your boundary. Let no man stand against you all the days of your life, and I was with Moses, and I shall be with you. Only be strong and of good courage to observe all the laws which Moses commanded you. Do not turn the way either to the right or to the left, in order that you may prosper in all that you do. And Joshua commanded the officers of Yasharal, saying, Pass through the camp and command the people, saying, Prepare for yourselves for provisions, for in 3 days more you will pass the Jordan to possess the land. And the officers of the children of Yasharal did so as they commanded the people, and they did all that Joshua commanded. And Joshua sent 2 men to spy out the land of Jericho. And the men went out to spy Jericho. And at the end of 7 days, they came to Joshua in the camp and said to them, Yahuwah had delivered the whole land to your hand, and the inhabitants thereof are melted with fear because of us. And it came to be after that Joshua rose up in the morning, and all of Yasharal with them, and they journeyed with Shittim, and Joshua and all of Yasharal with them passed the Jordan. And yet Joshua was 82 years old when he passed the Jordan with Yasharal. And the people went up from Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and they encamped in Gilgal at the eastern corner of Jericho. And the people of Yasharal kept the Passover in Gilgal in the plains of Jericho on the 14th day of the month, as written in the Torah of Moses. And the manna ceased at that time on the morrow of the Passover, and there was no more manna for the children of Yasharal, and they ate of the produce of the land of Canaan. And Jericho was entirely closed against the children of Yasharal, and no one came out and went in. And it came to be in the second month, in the first day of the month, that Yahuwah said to Joshua, Rise up, see, I've given Jericho into your hand, and all the people thereof, and all their fighting men should go around the city once each day, that you shoot for 6 days. And the priest shall blow the trumpets, and when you shall hear the sound of the trumpets, all the people shall give a great shouting, and the walls of the city shall fall down, and the people shall go up, every man against his opponent. And Joshua did so according to all that Yahweh commanded him. And on the 7th day they went around the city seven times, and the priests blow the trumpets. And on the 7th round Joshua said to his people, Shout, for Yahuwah has delivered the whole city into our hands. Only the city of all that it contains shall be under the ban to Yahuwah, to keep for yourselves that which is under the ban, lest you make the camp of Yasharal accursed and troubled it. But all the silver and gold and brass and iron shall be set apart to Yahuwah, and they shall come into the treasury of Yahuwah. And the people blew on the trumpets and made a great shouting, and the walls of Jericho fell down, and all the people went up, every man straight before him, and they took the city and utterly destroyed all that was in it, both man and woman, young and old, ox, sheep, and donkey, with the edge of the sword. And they burned the whole city with fire. Only the vessels of silver and gold and brass and iron they put into the treasury of Yahuwah. And Joshua swore at that time, saying, Cursed be the man who builds Jericho. He lays the foundation thereof with his firstborn, and with his youngest son he puts up the gates thereof. And Achan the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, and the son of Judah, dealt treacherously in the accursed matter, and he took that which is under the ban and hid it in the tent. And the wrath of Yahuwah was kindled against Yasharal. And it came to be after this, when the children of Yasharal had returned from burning Jericho, Joshua also sent men to spy out Ai and to fight against it. And the men went up and spied out Ai and returned it and said, let not all the people go with you go up to Ai, only let 3,000 men go up and smite the city, for the men thereof are but few. And Joshua did so, and there went up with him the children of Yasharal with about 3,000 men, and they fought against the men of Ai. And the battle was fierce against Yasharal, and the men of Ai smote 36 men of Yasharal, and the children of Yasharal fled from before the men of Ai. And when Joshua saw this matter, he tore his garments and fell on his face unto the ground before Yahuwah, he with the elders of Yasharal, and they put dust on their heads. And Joshua said, Why, O Yahuwah, did you bring this people over the Jordan? What shall I say after the Israelites have turned their backs against their enemies? Now therefore all the Canaanites inhabit the land, and hear this matter, and surround us, and cut off our name. And Yahuwah said to Joshua, Why have you fallen upon your face? Rise and get up, and for all the Israelites have sinned, and taken that which is under the ban, and I will no longer be with them unless they destroy that which is under the ban from among them. And when Joshua rose up and assembled the people and brought the Urim by the command of Yahuwah, the tribe of Judah was taken, and the Achan the son of Carmi was taken. And Joshua said to Achan, Tell me, my son, what have you done? And Achan said, I have sought amongst the spoil a lovely garment of Sinir, 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight. And I coveted them and took them, and see, they are hidden in the earth in the midst of the tent. And Joshua sent men who went and took them from the tent of Achan, and they brought them to Joshua. And Joshua took Achan these items, his sons and daughters, and all belonging to him, and they brought them in the valley of Achor. And Joshua burned them there with fire, and all the Israelites stoned Achan with stones, and they raised a heap of stones over him. That is why he called the place of the valley of Achor. So the wrath of Yahuwah was appeased. After this, Joshua came to the city and fought against it. And Yahuwah said to Joshua, Fear not, neither be dismayed. See, I have given Ai into your hand, its sovereign and its people, and you shall do to them as you did to Jericho and its sovereign. Only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof you shall take booty for yourselves, and lay an ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua did according to the word of Yahuwah, and he chose from among the sons of battle 30,000 men, and he sent them and laid an ambush for the city. And when he commanded them, saying, When you see us, we will flee before them with cunning, and they will pursue us. And you shall then rise out from ambush and take the city. And they did so. And Joshua fought, and the men of the city went out towards Yasharal, not knowing they were lying in ambush for them behind the city. And Joshua and all the Israelites pretended they were wearied before them, and they fled by the way of the wilderness with cunning. And the man of Ai gathered all the people that were in the city to pursue the Israelites, and they went out and were drawn away from the city. Not one remained, and they left the city open and pursued the Israelites. And those who were lying in ambush rose up out of their places and hastened and come to the city and took it and lit it on fire. And the man of Ai turned back and see the smoke of the city ascended to the skies, and they had no means of retreating either one way or the other. And the man of Ai were in the midst of Yasharal, some on this side, some on that side, and they smote them, and there was not one of them remained. And the children of Yasharal took Molish, the sovereign of Ai, alive, and they brought him to Joshua, and Joshua hanged him on the tree, and he died. And the children of Yasharal returned to the city after having burned it, and smote all those that were in it with the edge of the sword. And the number of those that had fallen of the men of Ai, both man and woman, was 12,000. Only the cattle and the spoil of the city they took for themselves, according to the word of Yahuwah to Joshua. And all the sovereigns of this side of the Jordan, all the sovereigns of Canaan, heard of the evil which the children of Yasharal had done to Jericho and Ai, and they gathered themselves to fight against Yasharal. And only the inhabitants of Gibeon were greatly afraid of fighting against the Yasharites, lest they should perish. They acted cunningly, and they came to Joshua and to all of Israel, and said to them, We have come from the distant land, now therefore make covenant with us. And the inhabitants of Gibeon deceived the children of Yasharal, and the children of Yasharal made a covenant with them, and they made peace with them. And the princes of the congregation swore to them. And afterwards the children of Yasharal knew that they were neighbors to them and dwelling among them. But the children of Yasharal did not slay them, for they had sworn to them by Yahuwah that they became hewers of wood and drawers of water. And Joshua said to him, Why did you deceive me to do this matter to us? And they answered them, saying, Because it was told to your servants and all that you had done to all the servants of the Amorites, and we were greatly afraid for our lives, and we did this matter. And Joshua appointed them on that day to hew wood and to draw water, and he divided them for slaves to all the tribes of Yasharal. And when Adonizedek, the sovereign of Jerusalem, heard all that the children of Yasharal had done to Jericho and of Ai, he sent to Hoham, the sovereign of Hebron, to Piram, the sovereign of Yarmuth, and Yahunyah, the sovereign of Lachish, and to Deborah the sovereign of Eglon, saying, Come up with me and help me, that we might smite the children of Yasharal and the inhabitants of Gibeon, who had made peace with the children of Yasharal. They had gathered themselves together with 5 servants of the Amorites, and went up with all their camps, a mighty people, numerous as the sand of the seashore. And all these sovereigns came and encamped before Gibeon, and began to fight against the inhabitants of Gibeon. And all the men of Gibeon sent to Joshua, saying, Come up quickly to us and help us, for all the sovereigns of the Amorites have gathered together to fight against us. And Joshua and all the men of battle went up from Gilgal, and Joshua came suddenly upon them, and smote these 5 sovereigns with a great slaughter. And Yahuwah put them to shame before the children of Yasharal, who smote them at the terrible slaughter in Gibeon, and pursued them along the way that goes up to Beit Horon Makadash, and they fled from before the children of Yasharal. And while they were fleeing, Yahuwah sent hailstones on them from the heavens, and more of them died by hailstones than by the slaughter of the children of Yasharal. And the children of Yasharal pursued them, and they continued to smote them on the way, going on and smiting them. And when they were smiting, the day was declining towards evening. And Joshua said in the sight of all the people, Sun, stand still in Gibeon, and moon in the valley of Alilon, until the nation has avenged itself upon its enemies. And Yahuwah listened to the voice of Joshua, and the sun stood still in the midst of the heavens, and it stood still for 36 moments, and the moon also stood still, and did not hasten to go down a whole day. And there was no day like it before it or after it, that Yahuwah listened to the voice of a man, for Yahuwah fought for Yasharal. All right, so this is it for that the Israelites' journey in the wilderness. So I hope you all enjoyed this message, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Shalom, everyone.